Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 31st of July 2024 and the time is 4:03 p.m. Excuse me. I had a kind of a busy, mad rush this afternoon. I went down to pick up my new CPAP device that was bought for me by my very special, very brave, very determined benefactor. And so I've just finished setting it up. It's all ready to go for tonight's snoozy poozy. And it's all happening. It's going to be very exciting. I suspect because it's brand new and it'll have all the chemical formaldehyde smells that I'm going to have another 2 weeks of running nose and congestion because my body doesn't like chemical smells. So that's going to be a pain in the ass because I've just gotten over the first 2 weeks when I struggled with that. But anyway, and I've been feeling very anxious today and a bit weak and dizzy, so I don't know what that was about. But anyway, new machine tonight. It's a black one this time. It's not as feminine as the first machine they gave me on loaned me. But it's black, but it's got an extra fancier, component to it on the screen. So anyway, swings and roundabouts. As long as it helps me keep breathing while I'm asleep, that's all that it really needs to do. But yes, it was a little bit weird picking it up, but it's all done. It's all happening. We're cooking on gas. Mama T is succeeding in her small ways with the assistance of, her benefactors. You know who you are. And people who are determined to see me thrive in all my undertakings, and if not thrive, at least survive. They want me alive, they keep telling me. We want you alive, we want you alive. So this is all part of the plan. The plan, Stan. So I'm going to continue with today's readings of even date. Yes, we shall continue with that. I had trouble with my laptop. It was doing that weird thing it does when it won't let me into websites or into anything, that carrot browsing. But it seems to be okay now. Oh, the irony. So we'll just see how far we go, because I may get lopped off by my malfeasant laptop that doesn't always behave. But we'll see how we go. Today's memories of the 31st of July 2024 are titled No More Smiling Assassins or Lockdowns. And there's a quote I posted as the cover photo, posted by Janice Ian originally. The quote says, "The secret of staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age." Lucille Ball. Well, I might live honestly, but I'm a very voracious fast eater and I never lie about my age. It is what it is, babies. But anyway, maybe I should start lying about my age. But nah, I've never been comfortable about lying about anything really. But anyway, here we go. 31st of July. I told you about today's shenanigans, getting my new CPAP mask and device. So 1 year ago on the 31st of July 2023, update, we're at the Animal Welfare League vet. They've taken him in straight away, but there are other emergencies, so it's an hour wait. I'm sitting here eating my own liver with stress, but I won't know what the outcome is until they examine him, praying as hard as I can. And then I wrote, I just spoke to the vet. They will do a blood test. It's possibly, given his age, that he already has kidney damage, so maybe too far gone. waiting for their assessment, and then they were hitting me up for money. Just the cost of consult and blood tests is $270, but you came out with the wrong dog. Oi, lol. So I realised already that early in the piece that I was dealing with a whole level of incompetence. So I was already not real happy, and I should have bailed then and there, quite frankly. Little signposts from the universe that tell you should not put your faith in certain humans. Anyway, someone asked me how old he was, and I said 7 years and 9 months, and then I mentioned it would be another $500 for the ultrasound on top of the $270 today, plus I spent $200 on Saturday at the other vet, which was extraordinary too. So, and then I write, I'm shaking with fear. They think he has a mass on his spleen, so we'll need to remove it surgically. And then they turned around and told me that there's no point doing the surgery because it would be very expensive and there's no guarantee he'd survive it. So then the decision was made to euthanize him, and then they screwed around with that for an entire 2 days, really. So putrescence laid upon putrescence laid upon putrescence. Here I write, as soon as we got home about an hour ago, he did lots of wheeze and had a slightly healthier poo. Yay. The vet said his belly is distended and sore, so passing another poo is a positive sign. He ate some more mince, which I put a teaspoon of coconut oil into to ease his bowel movements, thinking, of course, that it would, help things move out. But anyway, didn't make any difference in the end. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. he has an ultrasound. Again, they dragged that out all fucking day and didn't tell me. Left me worrying and wondering what was going on with my dog until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I finally said, what's happening here? Nasty. He's not allowed food after 8 p.m. or food and water in the morning. I'm very worried, but hopefully it's not a spleen mass or requires surgery, but I don't know until they do the ultrasound. After tomorrow's ultrasound, I will have used up all my zip pay resources, so I won't have any more money. So if he needs surgery, I'll have to sell the car urgently. So I went through a lot of, I was in crisis mode, worrying about A, my dog dying, B, the financial burden and stress of it all, C, I was dealing with fucking, largely incompetent, sadistic, moronic idiot. So there was that as well. Anyway, tomorrow will be the anniversary of Beauregard's death, and as you can see, I'm still not quite over it. The Beau and Charlie had our usual walk around the block going past the dog park. Beau wanted to. I was worried it was too much for him, but he wanted to. It was his little, I think he knew, he had an instinct. He wanted to say goodbye to all his favourite places. He had a tiny greasy poo up on Opal Street, so that will be from the coconut oil I gave him. Not much poo, but better out than in, as they say. Then he absolutely insisted on going to visit Miss Coco. Coco was a little dog that lived down the road. I wanted to curtail our walk and go straight home, fretting that the walk might be too much for him. But he held his little dogged ground. So we said hello to Coco and Peter. Peter is Coco's owner. Bobo seemed happy about that. We are now home, and boy am I tempted to cancel that ultrasound. It's another $500 to $700 and he seems a bit better now. But I better go ahead with it in case there is still something seriously wrong. So, that's all I have to say about that. My new Facebook bio. Allay the dark demons, Oso. Your insatiable greed is noted. Not my dog too. The Tanya says no, and unfortunately Zoso said yes and claimed him. My beautiful Sally reminded me that I am feisty, not to give up. So I have reanimated my altar in honour of the voodoo god Papa Legba, who was the guardian of the underworld, by the way. Prayers have gone out to the Holy One and his archangels also for the last 3 days. I am praying for healing for Beauregard that does not involve the ultimate sacrifice. I'm praying for this dark, demonic, fateful, fearful disease to leave us and dissipate into the ether. With harm to none, so it is done. Here is a photo of my altar. The little amethyst tree was gifted to me by Sally, the little witch with her dog by Gail and Talia many years ago. The photo representation of Papa Legba was created by Jared using AI technology. The photo frame, his business is called Selfie Sorcerer if you're ever interested in having your photo taken and turned into all sorts of interesting characters, witches and wizards and fae and even pet portraits. They're amazing. The photo frame is from the 3 little boys that I befriended in 2020 who moved away. The skull I bought last year, but I glued a little heart on its 3rd eye, symbolic of the all-seeing eye of the Eternal One who neither slumbers nor sleeps. Mama T is petitioning the gods in all directions, quarters and paradigms, above and below, in love, light, peace, good health, and in prosperity, to protect me and Beauregard and Charlie, to protect my beautiful friends and family, to protect sacred space, inner and outer, to hold space for all of us so that we shall know we are guided, loved, inspired and blessed with enough resources to maintain safety, sanguinity, equilibrium, and to provide for all our needs up to and including vet bills. Amen v'salah. So mote it be, with harm to and or from no one, and competition with no one, flowing beautifully and gently for our most beneficial outcome. Love is the law. From the Ein Sof Or down to Malkut, may we merit healing. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And here's a photo of my altar. And you can see the real thing behind me over there. So yes, I did try, but I guess I can't stand between the gods and their claiming my dog and my cats and Jesus. Well, what can you do? It was just a very, very awful event. 3 days of wrangling and suffering over his impending death too. I wrote, I see a horse's head. This was symbols that showed up in my cup, in my mug, coffee grounds. The horse's head looks like, here's its nose, nostrils and mouth, and then the mane there. And it also looks like a man's face in profile as well too. And I noticed there were lots of eyes and little faces, which I marked in pink. The horse's head could also be a Polynesian face in profile. Then I write, there is no nudity in this picture, Facebook. What the? It's symbols left behind in coffee grounds on the inside of a white porcelain mug. This is how stupid Facebook can be at times. But anyway, I wrote, here's the man's nose, lips, chin, very thick neck, and his hair, and there's his ear. So yeah, it could be either viewed as a horse head or as a man's head, depending on how you stretch the imagination a little bit. So it's quite astonishing. Here's a photo of my beautiful bow. One day before his death. Look, I don't know why I'm still so distressed about it all, really, because I believe in the afterlife and I believe he's waiting up there for me. It was just, it was just so upsetting to lose him, because he was such a soulmate. I responded to a friend, Jane Slubbo-Krosky. We're up at 7. I had to set 2 alarms, but then my anxiety was so high I didn't sleep much anyway. Peed all night too, with my bladder, which is not very well, and stress really tips it over the edge. But anyway, but here I am, back in the room. We leave in half an hour to go back to the vet for the ultrasound. I pray he is okay, and this has just been a money-shedding exercise rather than an actual nightmarish medical emergency. But it will all depend on what the ultrasound can inform us. He seems better. Since he seemed better, I should have just avoided them like the plague. He might still be alive today, who knows? I don't trust anything that happened that day. It was abhorrent, all of it. He seems better, his attitude is back, and he had his usual walk yesterday. In fact, he enjoyed it. So I have my hopes up that he is on the mend. 31st of July 2021, so that's 3 years ago. 2:43 a.m, still awake. Been lying here since 10:30 p.m. Useless. I was weak, dizzy and exhausted, yet now my brain won't shut off. What is this absurd behaviour? Overstimulated from reaming all the pearl beads? I might as well get up, but I don't dare, as I know I'm still affected by the colonoscopy and the concurrent trauma. I have to go to the dentist at the Hurston campus of the RBH on Monday. Perhaps that is why I can't sleep. I'm dreading having to break in a new governmental dental clinic, but there is no way in hell I will ever go back to the QE2 one. At least at this campus it will be 5th year dental students. Hopefully they will be compassionate. Okay. This is not why I'm awake. I'm not sure what's up. Perhaps I just moved into overdrive after overcoping all week. That must be it. Then I posted some photos from my garden titled Little Surprises from Sacred Space. It's nice to have little surprises from the garden. Indeed. Oh dear goddess. I just gave away most of the toys and Duplo and Lego I've hoarded for 35 years. Decluttering feels good and right. Frees my house of old style energy no one is interested in anymore, and allows space for new things to arrive. Smiley face. No grandchildren, so no point in holding on to any of it. let's be real here. All those gorgeous toys I bought for my two daughters was as much to gratify my inner Miss Five child who had been accustomed to being bought and paid for myself. Also, I took as much delight in buying my kids toys as they ever did in receiving them. That is until Jasmine demanded an expensive doodle bear that I could not at that time afford, having fallen into dire poverty after my separation and divorce. So I bought her the cheaper version, and thus began the unravelling of our former close bond as mother and daughter over a fucking teddy bear. Can you believe it? This is how I realised I had another little baby narcissist on my hands. My family is smacked with the narcissist, psychopath stick, ugly stick. Oh dear God, it's unbelievable how bad it is. It's why I'm alone. It's safer to be on my own than surrounded by fucking assholes, quite frankly. Baby psychopath wanted only the best, and I could no longer provide it. Ah well, someone else will thoroughly enjoy the vestiges of their childhood. I am happy about that. I'm setting my sacred space free, so I can perhaps leave this place unencumbered by the dross of the past, only keeping the most cherished items that spark joy. The rest can bring joy to other people's hearts and minds, indeed. Decluttering. I finally gave away the toys, Lego, Duplo, wooden blocks and pet shop toys. My friend was delighted. I gave it to her for her grandchildren. I also recently gave away all the baby clothes and sheets and blankets. I had also hoarded for 35 years, which would have included bringing them over from New Zealand when we migrated here too. Time to let go of stuff and free my energy in the vague hope I might actually make it to go live in Byron Bay one day. Oh, beautiful psychedelic dreamer, when will you wake up and breathe reality checks? Yeah, but nah, I don't actually want to. Byron Bay is a manifestation I will never let go of. My health is precarious. I never found a true love, loyal and faithful partner, and frankly, I don't need to be the repository of old-style energy that has not been utilised for decades. I'm fully cognizant of how little I matter to some people, and why keep memories? It's time I let it all go. It's not like I can take it with me where I am going. Next job, cull more stuff in my linen cupboard. Maybe cull more photos too. I did that too. Oh, I did a lot of clearing 2020 to 2023. A lot of clearing. I'm removing all barbs which anchor me to the past like a free-floating coronavirus. Something must die so that I can enter Valhalla clean and clear. Unbeknownst to me, a few years later, it was my dog. Am I right? I'm a little bit prescient sometimes when I express myself without realising. But anyway, he'll wait for me in Valhalla, my beautiful boy. He'll wait. All the pussycats will wait. And I'll just have to carry on living the best I can. And expect miracles, which I had today, that CPAP bought for me. And heal my body, mind and spirit and soul complex, and allow the most wholesome, gorgeous, devoted love to come and join and be with me at the appropriate time. I don't know when that will happen, but you know, I have hope for my future is what I'm saying. It could happen. All sorts of wondrous things could happen. that I've never even dreamed of before, because frankly, I didn't think I'd survive this long on planet Earth. So I wasn't really putting a shit ton of effort into things, thinking, what's the point if I'm not going to be around? But now I've flipped that script. I've invested in so many things, little irons in the fire, in the hope that my beautiful life finally lands and I can begin at long last a happy, peaceful, joyous life. Maybe even share it with someone wonderful. So that's the plan, Stan. And don't need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. Took me a long time to get myself emotionally free from all the shit show and horror of the former lovers from 10 years ago. Just saying. So I'm now well on my way. As I said to Jared when I spoke to him today on the phone, like one of those ice-breaking prows on one of those ships that navigates Antarctica or the Arctic, that cuts through the ice as it goes, cracking all impediments in its way and just stoically moving forward, no matter what, no matter how, no matter where, no matter when, just carving my way through, with harm to none, of course. But yeah, it's how I feel. I feel like that's what I've been crunching through ice. It's kind of interesting. Here I write, a lockdown from 4 p.m. today. Looks like both my dentist appointment and hair appointment due on Tuesday will be cancelled. Far out. Oh well, I was worried about being short of money for the hair appointment. The dentist I was dreading too, although this is only delaying the inevitable. I just ate dinner. Beef stir fry, hockey noodles, carrots, mushrooms, broccoli, red capsicum with honey soy sauce and a few slices of lime. He wanted it, but his dinner is in the kitchen. So no, Bobo, no. So now he is sucking my soul in retribution. Smiley face. He was upset that I wouldn't share my dinner with him. Look at that face. Look. Oh, my beautiful boy. My beautiful, beautiful boy. She just needs her face, hair, choker and earrings and ears, of course. So my Lilith fairy that I was knitting, which is now in display at Spellbound Mana at Capalaba Central. And you never know. Somebody might actually buy her. My friend Rachel wrote, "You are so productive," and I replied, which is insane given how ill and weak I feel. I guess I'm making up for decades of dying, and now death is close. I'm overcompensating like a berserker. And she wrote question marks, and I replied, I just had a colonoscopy on Monday and am very weakened by it, dizzy spells, etc. All good, no doubt I will arise and shine again. She replied, I'm so sorry. Keep on keeping on, okay? And I replied, it's okay. It's my life as I know it. I will endeavour to. She replied with a grin. So anyway, that's one thing I am glad that I gave up on having any more colonoscopies, because they were very debilitating indeed. Very, very debilitating for me. 31st of July 2020, sanding the chipped lacquer off the marble tabletop. Oh my God, by hand I was trying to do it, which was just hopeless. A hopeless, thankless, useless task. but I tried. And then eventually I went out and bought an orbital sander machine, which made the job a little bit easier, but it was still hellish. And yes, oh my goodness, renovating my mother's old tables took weeks and weeks and weeks. My friend Laura wrote, "Oh, I used to have a little marble tabletop like that when I had my house about 100 years ago." And I replied, "I managed to sand the edges off, but the middle is, ugh, I have worn myself out." She replied, "Oh, that is a big job." And I replied, "I'm exhausted. I'll have to sand it every day for a few hours to get it off. Then I have the oblong table still to do." She replied, "Your shoulders will not like you tomorrow." And I said, "No, and my hands are swollen too. I treated myself grilled burger home delivered by Uber Eats, too exhausted to cook or go out to buy food. It has gotten thinner compared to the other table I haven't started yet." And oh my goodness. I was feeling discouraged, like I wasted all my efforts, but I can see it is working. Trust my mother in her epic narcissism to buy expensive tables that need renovating, lol, but they will look lovely when they are done. 11:11 a.m. My angels, this is still in 2020. My angels are twirling in the architecture of the cosmos. They want us to know how deeply loved we are, how powerful we are, how we must use our innate powers for the highest good of all who connect to us. Sometimes, when we encounter abusive, low vibration, sketchy, false people, we try to keep seeing the good in them, and we drown in our own goodness. Yup. Then we get angry and grief-stricken because we gifted our love, to people who lie, and people who cheat, and people who misrepresent themselves in the most deceitful ways. We give second, third, 1,000 chances because we were fooled by the smiling assassin. But once unmasked, those crusaders of hate can never shine in our once deluded eyes the same way. Let go. Let the love I wasted on cuntish men and their handmaidens fall into the pit that grows new light and new love in its primordial darkness. Even the worms nourish that darkness, feasting and churning through the dirt so beautiful new life can grow. I need only wait for when my turn to thrive meets me in the hollows again, the hallowed hollows and the mightiest, most triumphant, effulgent peaks of bliss. We must learn to ride through both, like a careworn cowboy riding his horse with no name into the sunset. The sun will rise again. It always does, and so shall the Tanya. I took a hit from someone I liked and admired. That is all. It cost me an activity I enjoyed, but I can dance anywhere. Be me, anywhere. And those who genuinely, authentically love and honour me will find me everywhere. Lessons will be repeated until they are learned. As the old man at Amanda's coffee shop reminded me, I am the catalyst. I must rise again from my Phoenixian smoke and ashes and smile like a Cheshire cat. You will see me there, but will you see all of me? I can evaporate and eviscerate at will. Come, come, come out to play. I dance on the bones of the old life and grind the bones between my toes. And everyone knows out of death comes new life. That is the nature of the multiverses. Nothing wasted. Not even the love I poured into dangerous, empty vessels of evil and scorn. They might burn for eternity, for they were touched by the Tanya and her limitless light and her fecund furies. And some were apprised of her poetry and her stories, and others fainted in her glory. But she survived them all, not without her angels, both etheric and earthy. Blessed, beloved woman here, have no fear, love is the law. 31st of July 2018. Photos of me with my bow, my beautiful Bobo, my handsome one, my beloved one, my gorgeous one. Oh look, I love that photo. Me with Charlie, bit blurred, but never mind. 2017, waiting for Jared in a quiet rage, channeling Princess Leia. Cute, if I say so myself. 2016, glorious day outside. I've let the hens out. 2 eggs today from 2 of the new ladies. Woot! Glad I got them as my other hens no longer lay. Frida does on rare occasions, but Tabitha and Elvira have given up the ghost of Estros past like their human mother. No eggs, but we are still remarkably awesome. Time for a cup of tea. Bobo just bit my hand as I removed him from teasing the new hens, who were holding their own and fighting back. 11:10 a.m. Strange night-stalking creature is awake, French kissing the morning. I miss my antidepressants for one reason only. They had a blocker with alcohol, and I could drink all night without getting affected. Like that wild Christmas night in 2012 in an infamous clubhouse where I drank 10 Jack Daniels during the course of the night and was expected, an outrage, to go home with some sleazy dude fresh out of jail. So I walked out of the party on my own 2 feet. They refused to drive me home, as I refused to be treated like a whore. I was still sober and my blood was boiling, but off I went in search of the railway station to get myself home. It was Christmas Eve. A few streets away, a rival member of another clubhouse stopped in his ute and offered me a lift. I said, no, I have already been expected to fuck someone, and that is why I'm heading to the railway station. And if any man tries to belittle me again today, I will murder him. I don't really mean that literally. I was just angry, livid, furious, riled up. Did I mention angry? The fellow said, hop in, I will take you there. I did a little risk assessment in my head. He turned out to be a Kiwi, that means a New Zealander, a former Vietnam vet, and a lovely gentleman. He insisted on driving me home. I never saw him again. Angels come in strange forms. Wild biker men at 5 a.m. on Christmas mornings. The irony was not lost on this Jewish woman. But now, 4 years later, off my meds, and I can no longer hold my liquor, which was my superpower. Came in quite handy, that. Damn, I had fun though. Only 4 drinks all night, which is usually my limit, and it has been for many years anyway. Only 4 drinks all night, but silly as a wheel at one point. I just kept dancing wildly. Sober or drunk, my body knows what it has to do. I am grateful to my beautiful friends who love me and are so generous to me and spoil me rotten. I sat out with George and Katrina, my beautiful homeless friend, and she was delighted to see me. So was George. He worried I might be over the limit. I said, "Nah, I will be fine by now, but that is why I'm taking it easy before I drive home. Don't want to take any risk of being inebriated while driving." It was a good night. No epic sleazoid drunk creeps tried to hit on me, and I did not get angry, homicidal, suicidal, or just plain irked by anyone. The band was a good one that I liked. I knew the lead singer, Sarah Fraser. She is amazing. So I have had 2 great nights and really happy with my weekend so far. Today I'm going to visit Lynn. Tomorrow I will spend time with Jared. Blessed, happy, grateful woman here. So that's another. I'm writing a book. I've been advised by my friend Scott, to write a book. And I'm writing a book, and it's going to be these little anecdotes from already written, and I'm just going to cobble them all together and put them into a book. And I'm going to call it Confessions of a Dancing Queen. So, that's another little snippet that I will have to copy and put into my book, because it's sweet, and I want to preserve all the happy memories of all the time I spent out in the Brisbane music scene. Some not so happy memories, unfortunately, too, but I want to preserve it and cherish our shared history together, both my friends in the bands and fellow dancers and fellow people out in the scene for many, many years that I've been strutting myself, putting myself out there. I've got all these wonderful little short stories and, little anecdotes. So I've already started that today. Yes, it's going to be quite delightful, I think. Still in 2016. I should start my own religion, the cult of the goddess narcissist money launderers. That's a joke, by the way. Send money yesterday, lots of it. Let me relieve you of the pain of your bourgeois prosperity and cleanse your filthy, overstuffed pocket. But it was a joke in response to Monty Python's John Cleese launches the Church of the JC Capitalist, which was very funny. And I replied, "Get off my patch, you heathenish," yes, heathenish I wrote. I meant heathenish. But anyway, "Get off my patch, you heathenish cur, And so began the very first religious war, not for gods, but for gold. Oh, Blaze of Glory, Bon Jovi, my theme song to my life, playing loud on my stereo. Me without makeup, post Friday, Saturday night epic wildness. But you can see the family resemblance between my cousin Robert, myself, and my grandfather. Strong Phillips genes. Oh dear goddess. I actually look quite tired too. Well, it is what it is, babies. Been living this lifestyle a long time. So sometimes I get tired and others I just get wilder and wilder and more crazier and more wonderful, and it's just wonderful. He passed away and got killed in a car accident in 2018, but he was actually my father's first cousin, Robert Phillips. Wonderful man. He did extensive family tree research, which I put up on Ancestry, and he very obsessively had thousands and thousands, even in-laws and outlaws of people who were only vaguely tenuously related to us. So there's 3 trees up there, the Phillips one, my Aaron's one, and his extended Phillips family tree, which is all people that, might have had a brief, I don't know, rather tenuous relationship to us. But he was a scientist by profession, I believe, if I remember correctly. But anyway, a very fine man indeed. My grandfather, Alfred Abraham Phillips, Abe or Alf, but I called him Pop. So he was Robert Phillips's uncle. We had another 2 Robert Phillipses. One was my Uncle Bob, which was Pop's son, one of his 7 sons in our direct line. And then my other cousin, which was my Uncle Bruce's son, passed away just recently with the most horrific brain hemorrhage from a brain tumour he had. Another turbo cancer, courtesy of the you-know-whats. So my blood's boiling over that, literally. But anyway, so all the Robert Phillipses in our line have all now passed away, and it's very, very tragic. 31st of July 2015, trigger warning, suicidal ideation, human sexuality. Off you go, turn me off, hit the red button, TTFN, come back on another happier day. 3:11 a.m. I prayed to my angels to bring me true love, peace and happiness. This was in 2015, by the way. What do I get? A defamation case orchestrated by a psychopath, a broken love affair, again, a bronchitis which won't kill me but I wish it would, loss of appetite, loss of will to live, loss. Thanks for nothing, angels. You suck. Sometimes they really did suck. Sorry, I know it's a bit disrespectful, but by the gods, you let me down so many times. So many times. But lately, the last 12 months since Beauregard's death, they seem to be blessing me, at least dragging me through to this season of equanimity and joyfulness. So I am grateful. When they're doing right by me, I'm grateful. And when life is hanging by a thread, they suck. And they know that's just my opinion, and that I don't stay angry for very long. I don't stay deluded in too much positivity for very long. I'm constantly keeping it real depending on the circumstances. Here I continue. So does my creator and torturer, Hashem. I'm starting to really hate him. My entire life has been one almighty struggle. And the chief laboratory tech keeps moving the cheese. 2015 was a terrible, terrible year. I almost didn't survive it. I'm being punished for no good reason. An entire life of horse shit. As for the cheese, I got a bowl of macaroni cheese I made at midnight in an attempt to distract me from my shitty suicidal ideation, making angel shapes in the cold, wet dew, until my darling Jared reminded me that my creepy Romanian neighbour would mistake me lying in the wet grass as an invitation to fuck me. Cheerful thought, not. So we laughed, 'cause that is exactly what turns crazy men on. Vulnerable, dying women. Gets them hard every time, motherfuckers. Well, not decent men, but perverted men. Perverted men get off on chronically ill, dying women. Like my mother's husband, for example, and I can name so many. So here I am with a bowl of Parmesan cheesy mac stuff beside my bed that makes me heave, and watching Orange is the New Black, 'cause art imitates life. It's a wonderful show. Orange is the New Black. Highly recommend it. Metaphor for my life. Never give up until someone pulls the fucking plug. 6 p.m. Just woke up. I was so emotional yesterday, made worse by the prednisone. Oh dear goddess. Prednisone and me are not... It helps my lungs, but it sends me into a mental spiral every time. I had to knock myself out with 100 milligrams of Seroquel. It really is a wonder drug. Much calmer now. 7:48 p.m. I have slept all day, trying to decide whether to go out for a few hours tonight or to stay tucked up in my bed. I still feel fragile. Bed is my zen zone. 31st of July 2014. I am both happy and pissed off with myself. I spent the last of my money on a lotto ticket for tonight. I resisted all week, but got tempted this arvo. Oh well, so far on my ticket of dreams, I've sailed to the Caribbean and am sitting in Jamaica, drinking pina colada and having my back rubbed by a dreadlocked Rastafarian. The fumes from his dreads remind me of my adolescent friends, all hippies who were my true family, smiley face. Interestingly, not one of my marijuana smoking friends ever let me smoke it. I had to wait till I was 36 before I ever even allowed myself to smoke it. Lol. Some things are better with maturity. Where was I? Oh yes, rub that spot, Rastamon. $25 million in my dreams. I very rarely buy lotto tickets. It's such a waste of money. But, oh well, it was fun dreaming, fantasizing what I would do if I had that kind of wealth. I just found a lovely coffee and/or gift shop run by a beautiful young African woman in Seville Road next door to the post office. She has been here 4 months. I think she's still running it too. Good on her. I mean, she's been in business for 14 years now. It's been longer than that since I went to my local shops, meaning longer than 4 months. 31st of July 2013. Are you intimidated by intelligent women? Then right now would be a really good time to fuck off. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. My psych told me today my intelligence has been a lifelong curse. So yeah, I guess this is proof. What can I say, babies? Here I write, red, red wine and sleep. Or wait, read burial rites, then sleep. Yes. 31st of July 2011. After my stunningly talented verbiage last night, which no one ever notices or cares about, so what the fuck? I slept until 2:30 p.m. Then I took Miss Bella for an hour's walk to Logan Road and back to the ATM machine at the bank so I can pay my hairdresser tomorrow morning. Then I watered the garden and picked some passion fruit. Okay, so I'm talking to myself and you think I'm crazy like that, and so what? Yibbity yibbity. That's all, folks. A bientôt, a demain. That means like catch you soon kind of thing, till tomorrow. To recharge my batteries and meet the day again. Kiss, 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 kiss. And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. And wherever you are in the space-time continuum, I wish you joy and peace and true love with your truly loving, honouring, sincere, devoted, beloved ones. Hope you're getting all the cuddles that I'm not getting and haven't been getting for many, many years. Sometimes I just miss the intimacy. Sometimes I just miss a hug or, a deep conversation with someone that actually understands me. But I mean, I had that today with my friend Jared. It was a very productive conversation because he also agreed with Scott that I should write my book and suggested that I should write it about my music scene of dancing. So I'll see what I can come up with. Of course, I live in perpetual fear of someone being malicious and hitting me with defamation suits because that happened to me in 2015. Someone being really fucking malicious. So it actually stymied and blocked me from writing my book. But I guess if I don't try, I'll never write a book. And just as an exercise, I might just give it a go, just out of sheer the Tanya defiance and curiosity to see what I can come up with. So on that note, bye for now. Have a beautiful day on planet Earth, people of Earth. And why is this doing that thing again? I managed to get that whole reading through done without any troubles, but now it's doing that weird thing again, which I don't understand. But anyway, not your problem, my problem. I'm going to need to start manifesting a new laptop, I think. Or I'll just get my friend Peter to just factory reset this and start from scratch, one or the other. But anyway, bye for now. Have a wonderful evening from Brisbane, Australia, at Titania's realm in her sacred space.